Hey there, Basshole fans. This is Greg Weasley.
Hey, what up, though, Basshole Media and Basshole family? This is Luke.
What's up, guys? It's Jacob Dalton tuning in here.
John Miller here, moderator of T-Wolves Talk.
This is Ben Gilbert, longtime listener, subscriber.
Is Eddie tuning in?
Shout out Basshole.
Hey, Henry here, and you're watching the Timberwolves Talk podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back to this edition of the Timberwolves Talk podcast. Today, the podcast will be formatted a little differently. We're going to be doing three different sections, one for the play-in prediction, another for awards, and the next one touching on Chris Finch's contract extension. Thank you for joining us today, and we are glad to bring you this rendition of Timberwolves Talk.
How you doing, Chris? How's it going?
Doing great, man. Doing really great.
I'm just happy to be back. I mean, I know the season didn't go as planned for me and you and with this podcast. A lot of stuff came up. Maybe the views didn't turn out as we would have liked, but I can't tell you how happy I am just to be sitting here talking Timberwolves in the playoffs. I guess not yet, but in the play-in, and I just can't be happier. So with that being said, let's jump right into the prediction of the Timberwolves versus the Clippers. Hey guys, it's Peyton from the Timberwolves Talk podcast. We want to announce a big giveaway here that we're going to be doing in advance of the Timberwolves versus Clippers game on Tuesday night. So the giveaway is if you comment the score under this post, under this YouTube video or Instagram, wherever you're seeing this, and you get the score correct or you're the closest out of anyone, you get to pick out one T-shirt on jakescrafts.com. He's got hilarious T-shirts. We don't know him personally. This is not affiliated with him at all. We just think he has great stuff. And if you pick the score closest, you can pick out anything on his website, any T-shirt, and we'll send it your way.
Rules for the giveaway: got to be subscribed to the channel, got to be following our Instagram.
But that's about it. You don't have to repost it. Nothing. No. Just comment your score, and you're good to go.
Maybe go give us a like on our last post.
I mean, you could do that too, but it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory.
We did it. We made at least a playing game this year. It's going to be Timberwolves versus Clippers. Honestly, not my favorite first matchup, I guess, for the Timberwolves in the postseason here. But at the same time, you can't complain. You made the postseason. You got to show that you deserve that 7th seed.
Yeah, exactly. At some point, you're going to have to play a good team. And if we really want to be that playoff team that we think we are, we got to win a game. And I mean, yeah, you're right. This is not the best matchup for the Timberwolves. Not at all. I wish we would have got to play the Pelicans or the Spurs in the first round. But, we could go into a whole argument about how the play-in series is stupid, but I guarantee you if we were the 9 or 10 seed, we'd be talking about how great the play-in is. So it's really just based on your circumstances. But yeah, we're going to have to play a really tough Clippers team, and we're going to have to get gritty with it and get the dub.
Yeah, so let's kind of go over the regular season series between the Timberwolves and the Clippers and how that's unfolded thus far. As you guys know, I think we only played Paul George once this season, and we lost tremendously to them. I think that was the first game of the season. The season series is at 3-1. The Clippers did get the best of us this year. They scored a lot of points from what I remember, and we really did not play well in a lot of those games. But it's a new dawn. It's one game. It's at home. And all the pressure is going to be on this team. I think the line is set right now at 2.5 or 3. It keeps fluctuating today. So it's pretty much a pick'em game. Me and Peyton were talking about it earlier. 2.5 points, 3 in the NBA is, that's just free throws. So it's a pick'em game. No one really knows what to do. I've seen a lot of analysts go the Clippers' way, which, it makes sense. The Clippers have playoff experience on their side. They were just in the Western Conference Finals last year. This team's battle tested, playoff tested. Paul George was literally in his first playoffs when Anthony Edwards was 9 years old. Paul George is that dude, and it's going to be a tough game. Really excited though.
Yeah, what the thing is, what version of Paul George are we going to get? Because I feel like every time Paul George plays the Timberwolves, he kills us. Like, we don't usually have
it's playoff P.
It's either playoff P or pandemic P. I mean, there's still some COVID cases going around, so we could end up getting pandemic P, which I hope so. But it's critical that we win this first game, because I would much rather play the Grizzlies in a 7-game series than the Suns. I just feel like that is just – we've been talking about this also. Like, the Grizzlies are a team, no matter who they play, if they get matched up with the Clippers or the Timberwolves, I feel like they're a team that could have an early exit in the playoffs. The Suns, on the other hand, as much as I think we maybe would get 1 or 2 games out of that series, I don't think we have a shot after that.
I mean, if that, Peyton, if we have to play the Suns in the A seed, like the Suns are gonna blow us to shreds. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know though.
We might get a game. You're right. But like you said, going off kind of on the Grizzlies point, it's the Grizzlies are so unproven. Like we've seen so many teams, cough, the Jazz, that are just regular season warriors and aren't able to show up in the playoffs yet. And I'm going to be honest, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Ja Morant to kind of show what he can do, show if he can be that guy in the playoffs. Third season, time to take off. They got a lot of young guys on that roster and kind of like the Timberwolves. So, I mean, if you're the Grizzlies, you're praying you get the Timberwolves. I feel like you want young versus young. I would not want to play the Clippers if I were the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I just feel like it would be just a lot better of a matchup for us to play the Grizzlies. But what I was saying about the Suns is, man, like, I don't know. I think we match up pretty well against the Suns, and we always give them a battle. So that's why I'm saying maybe like we'd get 1 or 2 games. Like it's not going to be like if we played like the Warriors back in the day when it's just like 4-0 sweep no matter what. Like I feel like we have a decent chance against the Suns, and against the Grizzlies, I would honestly say we have a pretty good shot of making it into the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, you do look at the matchups, and I think that's really big. The Grizzlies they're kind of like the better version of the Timberwolves right now. It's like it's a mirrored roster.
It's what we're striving to be.
Exactly. You want that breakout season. I think that's kind of what the Wolves are going to hopefully achieve next season, keeping the guys around for another year. But yeah, it'll be interesting, man. I'm super excited. Kind of getting back to the playing game though. There's going to be a couple matchups to really watch, and we already touched on the first one. Obviously, Paul George is going to be the X factor in this game. He will be the best player on the court, and if he plays amazing, then it's going to be a good ball game for the Clippers.
Who's going to guard him? That's the question.
That is a big question. I remember them trying Anthony Edwards on him in the first game, and that was not probably the correct move. And you know what? You make adjustments. You make adjustments. I really do like mixing up. I like mixing up the wing combos on him, giving him Vando and McDaniels, giving him different looks. But also what the Wolves did in the last game that I saw, not the one they just played, but the third game where we won, they put Pat Bev on him for a couple possessions just to switch it up.
I mean, he played on the Clippers too. We got to go back to that. I forgot about that whole storyline with Pat Bev. But yeah, Pat Bev might be good. Who's going to start on him? Is Pat Bev or is Vando?
See, I think you put I think you give him length to start. And if he's kind of just doing his thing, it's good to mix up different looks on star players. I think that's really an underrated tactic in the NBA is to, if some guy's killing you on your best defender, mix it up. See if you can get something else going or give him some help. Paul George in this game is going to have to be doubled at least once. That's no doubt. It's really the other guys though that you got to keep in check.
Reggie Bullock, is that the guy who killed us? Remember that? We were streaming it. He had like
not Reggie Bullock.
Reggie Jackson.
Jackson.
He went off insane.
Barrage of 3-pointers.
Yeah. So like I remember talking about this before we played the Clippers. We said this was earlier in the season. We said it's kind of like they have one guy who's insanely good, and you want to make everyone else beat you. And when we got killed by the Clippers, everyone else beat us. And Paul George. We just got beat by everyone. But going back to the defending, who's going to defend him? Would you hate if we threw a Kogi on him maybe a little bit in the second half just for a few possessions? Because he is the best defender on the team, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that at all.
That's why we have him on the team. We've kept him around. Yeah. We've kept him around. And like playoff basketball, this is why you have a guy who literally all he can do is play defense. And he's been getting some runs. Sorry, I'm going on.
No, you're good. You're good.
He's been getting some runs in these last few games. I don't know. I wouldn't hate it if we threw him in. I know his offense is horrible. Maybe get a corner 3 out of him, but I don't know. Maybe we should think about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's good to have a guy on the bench that can do stuff like that. Honestly, you could see some random bench guys being utilized and some bench players that have played all season not play. And I think one of the candidates for that is Jalen Noel. I think his playoff minutes could almost be, if he's not playing defense, because he is the worst defender on the team if you look at the analytics, sadly. I know he provides great offense, but guys, the playoffs you need to defend. That's the
Right.
big, piece. You want guys like a Kogi who are going to sit down and just give effort every single defensive possession. And like I know you mentioned earlier, you want someone else to beat you. It's the Clippers at the deadline did that thing. They got those role players. They got Covington. They got Powell. They got the guys that can beat you from three. Those are the guys who are going to be setting up. I would hate to be giving Robert Covington corner threes all game. I would hate to be giving Norman Powell threes. Those are such good players. This Clippers team is deep. It's deep, and they have a top 5 coach in the NBA too. Ty Lue has done an incredible job keeping these guys in position like this so they can strike upon from the 8th seed to try to get in.
Yeah, it's honestly unfair that this is the 8th seed we have to play up against. And like we also said this, I mean, if they have Kawhi Leonard, they might be one of the best teams in the league, probably the favorites in the West.
Yeah,
if they had Kawhi Leonard.
The Suns versus Clippers with Kawhi, I think it would be a awesome Western Conference game.
I don't know. Has Kawhi officially been ruled out for the game yet?
Yes, for the playing game, Kawhi is out, and I believe Luke Kennard is doubtful. I didn't see the exact injury reports aren't out yet. It's just kind of speculation. Kennard's been injured a while, as well as Powell. Powell's only played 3 games with the Clippers since the trade, but reports are Powell will be good to go. And I mean, people forget Powell was like a 20-point per game scorer on the Blazers. I mean, not saying the Blazers are a great team; they're probably the worst team in the NBA right now. But a guy who gives you 20 that's a dangerous guy. So I mean, there's no sleeping on any of these players in this lineup for the Clippers.
All right. So let's get in. Who is your key factor? Who or what is your key factor for the Timberwolves to win or lose this game?
Personally, I think it's the other two of the big three. I think Cat's going to get his. Cat's always going to get his. Cat's been incredible this season. He's going to do his thing. It's going to be if Anthony Edwards shows up, which personally I think he will. He loves the games that actually matter.
Well, he hasn't played many in his life. I mean, like in college, he didn't have many meaningful games.
Yeah, I guess what I should say is like the Friday night games against the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler returning to Target Center, Anthony Edwards is going to go get his.
Right.
The Wednesday night games against the Orlando Magic, Anthony Edwards might not go get his.
Right. And like, I mean, we've seen greatness in Anthony Edwards. We've predicted maybe he's going to be one of the all-time greats. This is how it starts. This is how, when he has his documentary in 20 years, The Last Dance, Anthony Edwards edition, this is how the story's being written, like right here. Play-in game, first playoffs against the Clippers, second season. This is it right here. So if he's really going to be that great player that we expect him to be, want him to be, this is where he's going to have to show up. And I believe in him. I really do. You go.
Other point too is the third out of the big three is D'Angelo Russell. He's often the one that's the aforementioned one after Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. Which D'Angelo Russell are we going to get tomorrow night? Whenever this is uploaded, which D'Angelo Russell are we going to get Tuesday night? And the D'Angelo Russell I really, really want is the 18 point per game on good shooting and 10 assists. D'Angelo Russell, who communicates on defense. That's the D'Angelo Russell we need. We need playoff D'Angelo Russell. And he's another guy, the big moments too. It seems like he takes advantage of it. So I'm excited. I'm excited for those two to show me what they got. And you might mention something about it. I don't know your point, but Malik Beasley's going to have to hit his threes too. We're going to need bench scoring.
Yeah, you're going right into my great transition there. Malik Beasley, that's my key factor. I think we'll know very quickly in the game which version of Malik Beasley we're getting, because he's either going to miss 3 threes in a row or he's going to make 3 threes in a row. And you know what? My message to Malik, keep shooting. This is the playoffs, and we've watched him so many times. I know people get annoyed, but he needs to keep shooting because it just takes one. And if we can hang around, maybe he goes 0 for 7 to start out, and then he finally makes one and makes 4 in a row. And then that's the key factor of the game. So I think Malik Beasley and also Taurean Prince, if we can get the bench guys going and rolling, I think we have a really good shot. It's just, I don't know, if they are missing shots, I'm not too optimistic.
Yeah. Well, I think very, good trend for Malik going into the play-in here. He's had a excellent, month and a half here of shooting. Same with Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince has really turned up the last, half of the season. those two guys I think they're gonna make a big impact. This Clippers team's deep. That's what they work on. Our depth needs to match up with their depth. So,
And I mean, we just 75 bench points. Was that a franchise record last game?
I think it was actually.
It was.
We beat ours.
Even though, I mean, the bench played the whole game, but still, I mean, our bench has been great this year. And you look at the games when we have beat teams that are better than us, it's usually the bench that really makes the impact in the game. So I don't know, man. I'm nervous. I'm so excited. Chris is going to be at the game and I cannot be at the game. So I'm going to be angry and hopefully I can watch most of the game. But yeah, I don't know. I'm so excited, man. This is what we've been doing this for 2 years, like a playoff basketball game.
Honestly, I think the atmosphere in the arena might even be more than like a game 3 or a game 4. Like this could be like, this is one game. You know, we got to win this game. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, like, I know some people might be saying, like, yeah, this is double elimination. Like, even if we lose this game, we still have a pretty good shot of making the playoffs. I think that's a horrible take, because I think that if we allow ourselves to play either the Spurs or the Pelicans, that's just trouble waiting to happen. We got to take care of business and just seal our spot in a 7-game series as quick as possible. This is a must-win game. And if we lose this game, I think we're in trouble.
I mean, it's just like we touched on earlier. The difference between the 7th and the 8th seed is monumental. I have confidence playing the Grizzlies. I don't have so much confidence playing the Suns.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We're
writing our own story. I mean, we might hate the play-in game, but if we win the game, it doesn't matter that there's a play-in tournament. We're right at the 7th seed where we belong. So, I mean, we can complain all we want about how the play-in's stupid, but at the end of the day, we're in control right now. No one else is controlling us besides the Minnesota Timberwolves. If we win the game, we're the 7th seed and we get to play the Memphis Grizzlies. So hopefully we can, our next video, we're going to be talking about the playoff series predictions against the Grizzlies.
All right. Well, I guess last thing to leave it off on, it seems like most of the experts and analysts are picking the Clippers. Peyton, who's your pick for game 1 of the play-in in the Western Conference?
You know, before we start talking about this, I was kind of thinking, you know, maybe the Clippers are going to win this game. But after we've broken down everything that needs to happen, I'm picking the Timberwolves. It's going to be a very close game. And I'm also picking D'Angelo Russell. He's going to hit a huge shot late in the game that is going to propel us to the win.
All right, man. I'm going to have to agree with you. I got 113, 107.
113, 107. I got 124, 122. Minnesota Timberwolves win, but don't cover the spread. Huge news coming in today, Monday, April 11th. The Timberwolves have announced the contract extension of Christopher Finch. Chris, sharing the same name as him, what do you think about the extension? Can you go into some of the details? Because I don't know the exact details.
Yeah, I don't think the Timberwolves haven't announced it yet, but from what I've seen on Twitter, it's a 3-year extension upon the 1 year remaining left on this original deal. So it'll be 4 more years, at least, of Finchy and Minnesota, along with his staff, which is, you know, obviously that was going to happen. Finch led the most improved team from last year to this year. We are the top scoring team in the NBA now.
Yep, saw that
in the regular season, most 3-pointers made. Finch came in to be an offensive guy. That's what we were struggling with. And guess what? We found the offense, definitely, especially in the second half of the season too. It seemed like it was the norm to score 130 points every single night. But yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed with Finchy. Peyton and I have been on board with him since the day of the hiring.
Since the controversy.
Since everyone else wasn't on board with him, we've been on board with him. We said, give him a shot. And guess what? He might be one of the most beloved men in Minnesota at the moment.
Let me just say this, man. I love Finch. You got to get a sticker that says that. But I don't know, man. The way I like to measure him up against is look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. The same roster minus Pat Bev, Taurean Prince. But basically, other than that, the same roster. Last season with Ryan Saunders, we were horrible, unwatchable. One of the worst teams in the league. It was honestly embarrassing to be to cover the team. Like it honestly ruined my night every single night when I would have to watch a Timberwolves game and then talk about it. Watching the game was sad. Talking about the game was sad. And it really was just, it ruined my mood. But then you throw Chris Finch with the same roster and give him a whole offseason, and look what he's done. He's made me the happiest person alive. He's made Chris a very happy man. That's how I measured it up. He's been phenomenal.
And the first thing he said, in his opening press conference is, I think John Krasinski asked him, how do you want to be measured this season? And at this point, the season was over. Like,
right.
Saunders dug us a deep hole, and Finch said, I want to be judged by my wins and losses. I mean, that's all you can want, man.
And it was very controversial because people wanted us to lose out. They wanted us to lose out that season so we could tank for whoever we were trying to tank for, even though we probably wouldn't even have got the draft pick. But we honestly started to get better towards the end of the season last year, and that's a big part of Chris Finch.
What gives me so much hope is guys, this roster is very imperfect. This is not a complete roster by any means. And the biggest issue coming into the season was going to be defense. And overall, this entire year, I mean, it's had its ups and downs. We're 13th in defensive rating. Where as at the beginning of the season, I thought we were going to be a bottom 3 team. So, I mean, you got to give him credit for that. And he did it with personnel who can't play defense that well. Like he had a couple players who could play team defense. I think next season, when you see some overload in the summer, this is not going to be the same team, whether you like it or not. I know it's a great, like, emotional team. Like, I'm going to remember this team for a while, but I'm going to be happy when he gets some players that he needs. Like, I think next year you can see the Memphis Grizzlies jump. But yeah, I'm thrilled with Finch. Super happy we get him for 4 more years here, and the staff too. I think they've all done a good job.
I just love how much the team also loves him. Like, there's been countless times where the players have mentioned in their post-game interviews, like, just randomly, like, why is Chris Finch not being mentioned for Coach of the Year? And
says a lot. Says a lot about the players.
It says a lot, and like, it says a lot about his relationship with the players, and he gives them a voice. You always see D'Angelo Russell talking to Finch, and he listens to the players. He had a really good quote, right? When Anthony Edwards was trying to get 50 points, and it was a bad look.
Yeah,
it really was, and he admitted that. He said it was a bad look. I don't want to misquote him horribly, but he said basically that there's a lot of immaturities on this team, but the one thing that he didn't hate is that they were unselfish, and like, people were trying to help Anthony Edwards get 50 points. And it was kind of a team effort. And he said maybe they weren't pointed in the right direction completely, but he likes that it was a team effort a little bit.
And this is kind of butting off, not exactly Chris Finch, but randomly today, I just saw a quote that Nate Knight said. He just said, Nas Reed is my best friend. Like, I'm going to somehow indirectly attribute that to Chris Finch. Cause in what world are Nate Knight and Nas Reed best friends? You got to have some team chemistry. You got to have something, man.
Dude, I want to, like, I think I might change my Instagram bio to that. Someone has to make a t-shirt that just says Nas Reed is my best friend at Jake Scraps. Maybe make a t-shirt that says that. I think that's a solid one. But yeah, I think
you see it, man. You see it. You see the chemistry. You see everything. You see the buy-in.
If he makes a run this year in the playoffs, I think his stock's only going to go up. So I'm happy we locked him in before the playoffs in a long-term extension.
All right, guys. And for our last segment today, we're going to be giving out team awards for, I believe, MVP, MIP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Sixth Man of the Year for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And Rookie of the Year, most importantly. At the end, we'll do that.
All right.
Stick around for that.
If you want to start us off with MVP, I think we probably both have the same, but.
Yeah, my MVP, Karl Anthony Towns. It seemed in a team full of inconsistency, Karl was that consistent rock for us every single game. Honestly, I don't really remember him having a bad game this year. It's just whenever we needed him, he's always there. He's consistently there, and our team's success is really dependent on if other people can step up, because he's always going to be there. He's the constant variable on this team, and that's why he's the most valuable player to the team. If we don't have Karl Anthony Towns, we're not even close to the play-in. Whereas if we don't have Anthony Edwards, I think we still have a shot. If we don't have D'Angelo Russell, we still have a shot. But without Karl Anthony Towns, this team is not much.
Yeah, again, just another 50, 40, 80 season for Karl
Casual.
Anthony Towns.
Casual.
That's just, that's just things he does now. He's my MVP too. 3-pointers down this year, but at the same time, I think Karl did a very good job of learning how to drive to the basket this year, learning how effective he is off the dribble. And I think he just added one of the more dangerous tools to what he can do for the future. Cat proved he can be a leader that leads the team to the playoffs this year. And, we'll get to see how he does in the playoffs, but yeah, I think easy pick for both of us for MVP.
Yeah, I think that depending on how he does in the playoffs this year, I think this could be a springboard into him being a candidate for the league's MVP. I think he definitely has all the attributes that an MVP needs, and especially seeing a player like Jokic win it back-to-back years. I think Karl has the potential in the future. If this Timberwolves team could take that Memphis Grizzlies step, I think Karl Anthony Towns could be a real potential candidate for MVP. Maybe not next year, but in the years to come.
Yeah.
Let's go into most improved player. This one, I've been all over the place with most improved player. I started off with Vanderbilt, and then I said, maybe Jaden McDaniels should be the most improved player. And then now looking at that written down on my piece of paper, I'm going to switch it up on you completely and go back to who I originally said. I know his stats are worse than last year, but I think the most improved player on the Timberwolves is D'Angelo Russell. And I know this is going to be a take that not many people are going to.
It's a hot take.
It's a hot take, but it really isn't to me. I think that as a leader and as in maturity, in his maturity, I think that's where he improved the most. And I think I could argue that his maturity level, the amount that he's gained from last year to this year is more than anyone else gained in stats for the Timberwolves. So I think D'Angelo Russell, and defensively, as a defensive leader, he's really helped bring the Timberwolves to the next level. And that's why I think he is the most improved player on the Timberwolves.
All right. I'm going to go with Jared Vanderbilt. And the reason why is I think that was a gaping position to start the year at the 4. I think we were all, pretty worried about who was going to be there. Was it going to be McDaniels? Was he going to make that next step? We actually tried McDaniels for the first, I think 2-3 games, if you guys remember. And then we switched it up, put Jared Vanderbilt in there, and I think everything changed. Like there was just a change in the mindset of the team. There was a change in how they looked on the court. Career highs in points, rebounds, steals, free throw percentage, shooting percentage, like
minutes played. His minutes played went from 17 to 25, which is incredible.
Yeah, I mean Vanderbilt's been one of the best 5 players on the team for the entire year, and that's a tribute to him because I think last year we're all looking at him as a bench player. At one point we were wondering if he would even be on the team this year.
That's what I was just about to say. We didn't even know if it was worth it to re-sign him because he was in contract negotiations for a while. We didn't even think it was that big of a deal that we weren't maybe not going to sign him.
Yeah.
But we got him for a steal.
Cheap 3-year deal. I mean, that's going to be awesome. I think, after these 2 years with the Wolves, I think he could possibly even get paid by someone. So, I mean, good work by Vando. He's my most improved.
Yeah. And the amount of impact he's had on the culture of the Timberwolves is incredible. He has a nonstop motor, and I've been watching The Last Dance a decent amount. And I love the Dennis Rodman comparisons that we came up with last year. I think he really is the less crazy version of Dennis Rodman, just the way he rebounds the ball so effectively. And I'm so happy he's finally getting attention from the national media.
100%.
All right. Let's go in defensive player of the year. I'm going to go into it because, it's not much different from what you just said. My defensive player of the year is Jared Vanderbilt. I think that with a defensive rating of 107, I think that he was our best defender overall. I think he was the most impactful. And, I guess I can't fully give him the award yet until he locks down Paul George on Tuesday night. But that's my vote for defensive player of the year.
Yeah. My defensive player of the year this year is going to be Patrick Beverly. So last season, our Minnesota Timberwolves were ranked 26th in the NBA in defensive rating at 115. One player gets added to the roster. And that's Patrick Beverly, besides Taurean Prince. Pat Bev significantly, changed our defensive rating, along with some scheme changes. We went from 26th to 11th.
Oof.
And we had this year 111, I believe, for defensive rating. Individually, he had a really good year too. Over 1 steals, about a block per game, 4 rebounds. I mean, that's gritty. That's exactly what you want from a guard defender. So I think Patrick Beverly is going to be my defensive player of the year for the Timberwolves.
All right, 6th man of the year. My vote's going to be Malik Threesley. He started off horrible, and not many people were defending him. I believed in him the whole way this whole year, and he ended the season on a tear that has just been the old Malik, and it is reminded everyone of why he's such a valuable player. And yeah, he is my 6th man of the year, and I'm so excited to see what he's going to do in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one. I think Malik's been our 6th man of the year. Even with a bad first half, I think his incredible second half kind of like overshadows the bad of this year. I mean,
if you look at
it, he's down from 3-point percentage from last year. It went from 40% to 37. He's down in 3-point makes, down in 3-point attempts, down in points, but he's still shooting the volume 3 at a very good clip. He's taking over 8 threes per game and hitting 37, almost 38% of them. That works for me, man. That's going to work for any team. And just the eye test, I mean, recently has shown he's more locked in on defense. He's more engaged into the game. He's being trusted more by the coaching staff, and he's hitting shots like Malik can hit shots. So I've been really impressed. And I think he's going to be a very important tool in the postseason here.
All right. And then the next most controversial award, we're going to go Rookie of the Year. It's really between 2 players, McKinley Wright, the 4th, and Balmero. Balmero started off real hot to start the season. He even started a game, if you could believe that. And he played horrible in his start. But, I think overall, in the entirety, I'm going to have to go with Balmero over McKinley Wright. Just my hot take. I don't know if that's what the rest of the fans are going to say, but I think he earned it this year.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have a pick in the draft, I guess, besides their 2nd rounder. So I'll go with Balmero too. I think they're, not a ton of glimpse this year of what he can really do, but in the G League, he's been putting monster numbers in the G League. So, I mean, there's obvious potential there. Like we said, he is a project player. It took him even a year just to get over to the team. Hindsight's 2020, probably even should have took another year overseas this year starting. But we could look at this in 3-4 years, and who knows? He could be a really solid point guard. I don't know. The jury's still out on him. I guess he's my Rookie of the Year.
All right, that's a great take. So that's going to get us to the end of these 3 segments. A little bit different of a podcast today, just trying to be a little bit more formal than just rambling for 40 minutes. But yeah, it's been a fun season, man. And I know we talked about this earlier. I know that we haven't been able to put out the content that we would have liked. I mean, last year we were super consistent and the team was horrible. This year, the team was amazing and we could barely get you guys an episode a month. So it just shows that sometimes life is more important than podcasts. But yeah, I don't know. It's really, this podcast has really meant a lot to me. And I love being able to connect with the fans. I love being able to say stupid stuff about how I think D'Angelo Russell's the most improved player and just have people listen. Like, I mean, I have no stats to back it up, but that's just my own personal take. And I mean, it's cool to have a platform to be able to say stuff like that and have at least 40 people listen,
Yeah, man. It's not over yet, guys. We got at least 2 more games this season. I'm sure we're going to break down the first play-in game. I think we can definitely promise you that. We'll have a little video detailing, detailing the first playing game, if need be, a second playing game. And if we get to the playoffs, we can promise you we will get a breakdown of each game for you guys.
We can also promise you we will be doing a stream of a playoff game if we make it to the playoffs. I think it's only necessary.
Yeah, hopefully we can be able to stream both away playoff games, and hopefully more than that if we advance. I think that'd be pretty cool. But life does come at you. We can promise you a few things. We can't promise you others, but we will be getting postseason content out for you guys.
Yeah. And like I said, man, it's been fun. And the podcast has really, before the podcast, man, I was not a big Timberwolves fan. And I think if you guys paid attention way back in the day, I did not know much about the team. And just doing this podcast has really, I've started watching all the Timberwolves games. I've gotten completely invested to the point where this play-in game is gonna mean a lot to me, as I know it's gonna mean a lot to everyone else. So it's just been awesome, and I'm happy we've had the opportunity to do this. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't yet, shoot us a subscribe. Make sure to like this video. And also make sure to comment your score prediction. The closest one's going to get a free shirt from jakescrafts.com provided by us. No affiliation with Jake. But yeah.
That's all I got to say, man. You hit it on the head.
All right. Good luck to the Timberwolves. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. And we'll see you guys later.